All right, so some Saturday thoughts for you guys. I had a conversation with one of my very high-level athletes the other day, and their prior experience with different training modalities such as CrossFit, and the mentality of going in, getting sweaty, and burning yourself to the ground. And this is actually burned into our body because we get used to this heavy hormone response of burning us down to the ground, and then we want that, we crave that. And so I was acclimating her to true strength and conditioning, strength training instead of conditioning. And it was getting, she was having trouble understanding why we were having these types of rest periods. And so what I told her is at the very end, so we do 3/4 of our training day as strength training, okay? We're going through a linear progression right now for her, and it's working really well. And then at the very end, once a week, we did an AMRAP. Okay, and this AMRAP is a type of GPP used general movements for her sport. And so I wanted to back this up with some research. And in the June publication of the Journal of Strength and Conditioning, the title of the article was "The Effects of Rest Intervals Between Sets in Muscular Function During a Sequence of Strength Training Exercises for the Upper Body." So preface that with, this is for the upper body. This is specifically for the upper body. The pool of applicants were 60 Caucasian men, okay? So you have to relate that to the study. This study, we're using it as a general overview, and there are some precautionaries that you have to take in account when applying this to different populations. However, what they showed is they looked at many different upper body movements: bench press, incline press, flies, lat pull downs, bent over rows, all these different push-pull combinations. And what they showed, as I will put in this video next, what they showed is the difference between 120 seconds, 90 seconds, and 60 seconds. And their ability, very basically, I'll put the highlighted text in there, their ability to stay over the 80% of their 1RM, so where we're gaining strength, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, their ability to get the prescribed amount of reps increased as time increased. So 120, 90, or 60-second rest intervals. So as it pertains to these rest intervals, the more time allowed them more high-intensity repetitions during that movement. So what does that mean? This shows that when we are over our 80 to 85% threshold, rest intervals are imperative. We have to have these rest intervals to actually gain strength. We cannot have 0 rest intervals such as an AMRAP and expect to gain strength. Okay? So her experience in her prior training modalities was we do AMRAPs so we can get stronger. But we cannot truly elicit a strength response under fatigue. Okay? To a certain extent we can, but we cannot get actual strength. We cannot get stronger under fatigue. And stronger is not correlated with bodybuilding. Those guys are not stronger. They are trying to build hypertrophy. They're trying to build on muscle mass. So this study just done in the last month's journal article of the Journal of Strength and Conditioning showed 120 seconds was superior over 80% to get the amount of reps needed. As we progressed down that continuum, 90 and 60, we were not able to get as many reps. So, very basically, when we're over the 80 to 85% threshold, trying to get stronger, the whole goal of that session, of that rep scheme, is to get stronger. The rest intervals, as they go up, the more reps we can perform. So, this shows us that under fatigue, doing an AMRAP is not strength training, it's conditioning. And it can be used very, very effectively. But if you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to build this overall strength, an AMRAP is not the way to do that. An AMRAP does not get the job done. And so I hope this makes sense. I'm going to post up the highlights of some of the stuff on that article. But very basically, if you're trying to get stronger, we have to rest. If you're trying to get in better shape, then decrease the rest periods, and that's what we use Amrap'S for. That's what we use assault bikes. That's what we use our different aerobic and anaerobic modalities to get to that overarching goal. So depending on what the athlete needs, that's what we prescribe them. But we just don't do Amrap'S and say, hey, we're doing strength training because there's a barbell involved, and say that we're getting stronger, because that's not the case. And the research does not show that at all. So just because there's a barbell involved does not mean you're getting stronger. We need to make sure that we're looking at the literature and playing off of that as we pertain that to our population of athletes. Peace.